All right, you guys, here we go. Second grade, I'm in the Bridges Drive. I go to 2020 and I go to Unit 2. And now there's loads of stuff in here. But I'm going to show you this one, the notes. Grade 2, Unit 2 notes. Okay? And within the notes, you'll find everything you need. All of this stuff that you see here is linked into the notes. Yeah, so you can figure out what all this stuff is. So first I shared with you the Unit 2 math room. So if I were to go into the math room, let me show you this newly updated math room. So the first thing that you want to do is go to File, make a copy of the entire presentation. You want to make your own copy and put it in your own folder. So you could call it the same thing, Grade 2, Unit 2, Math Room. But then here, you'll want to go out of the shared drive because you don't want it to be in shared. You want it to be in your own drive so you can make any changes to it you want and share it with your kids. So then go into your drive and find whatever file you want to do for that. Okay, and then click OK. Then a new one will pop up and it'll be yours. And then you can share this room with your kids on Google Classroom if you would like to, for Unit 2 to have available. So I'd go to the share button on your copy, and I'd want to change this one down here. Yours is going to be unrestricted. You'll want to change it to anyone with the link so that you don't have to worry about giving anybody requesting access. So copy that link. Then you're going to go to your Google Classroom. You'll go to your classwork, you'll go to create, you'll go to, I would just put it as a material so it's not as an assignment and they can just do it whenever they want and call it like Unit 2 Math Room. And description, math it up. I don't know, whatever you want to put. Or maybe you don't even want a description. I would copy and paste the link here. Now I'm going to tell you that you should really, to be real technical, take this, after this last slash mark, take out these words, erase them, and click present, and click add link. And now the reason you do that is so that when a kid gets it, when they open it, it's in present mode, which is a lot better for the kids. And then if you have a topic, maybe it's called Unit 2, stick it under that topic and click post, and you're good to go, okay? The math room looks like this. Let's look at it. All right, if I go to present mode, here's the stuff I have on here for you. So Unit 2, all about place value. So here is some place value stuff for them to play around with. The place value number rock song. Then you have place value practice with sharks and dolphins. And then you have ABC base 10 fun practicing with base 10. Okay. Here's our quote of the unit, just try. If you don't like that, you can switch it up. Just click on it, erase it, put it in your own. This one here goes with your number corner stuff, place value, time, activity. If they click on it, brings them to a puzzle clock. Let me just tell you, if they click the puzzle clock, you will want to be, this is a teachable moment. Math Playground is a great site. It just has lots of advertisements. So like, no, we're not going to click on that ad. And no, you're not clicking on your grade. You specifically want them to play with this game on clocks. Because if they keep scrolling down, they're going to find other games to try and play on Math Playground. Well, this is the specific one that we're working on, is time. So just talking to them about that. So this one's 8 o'clock, so I take that puzzle piece and I place it at 8 o'clock. Then I get a new one and I try to find that one. Okay? All right, so that's that. I X out of that. I'm back here. I'm thinking of a number. This one is guess my number. I love this one. Although just like it shows here, you want to change the range to 0 to 100. Or maybe a kid is just going from 0 to 10. The thing is, when you click on it, the cat starts at -1,000 to 1,000. So it's teaching the kids to change that to 0 and then not going nuts and writing 1 with loads of zeros. We're either going 10 or 100 or 1,000. Okay, and then you press start. And now you get to type in your guess. So let's say I say 200 and I guess that. Oh, the cat says my number is greater than 200. Okay, so let's say I guess 300. Right, so I keep guessing my number is greater than 300. So you keep going. At the end, when you finally get it, it'll tell me how many guesses it took me and what's your goal for the number of guesses. So it's an awesome practice of guessing my number. And then I'd still put on there the months of the year song and the days of the week song for kids who want to keep listening to that. Then, since we're talking place value, I have a huge chart here, counting by tens to 1,000, which you guys are counting by tens in your number corner also. So here is counting by hundreds to 1,000, and here is counting to 1,000 by, I think, tens with this funny count. Okay. Flipgrid. If you're interested in putting up a Flipgrid activity of kids counting, or doing place value stuff, like link one in right here. Or maybe you have a different link you want to put there, because I did not link up a Flipgrid, but I have the picture if you want to use it this time. This one's going to go to the number stuff, number counting by twos, fives, ones, tens, because they probably still need practice with that. So they listen to it on their own and whisper count with the guys. The book read aloud is of the Bananas and the Monkeys place value book, which is a really good one. I showed you guys that last year. And then addition facts table. Here are all sorts of addition games that kids can work on their addition facts with. So this one I felt needed a video to go with it of how to do it, because you're working on using your doubles to get the answer. Close doubles, so I provided a video on that one. Otherwise, I felt like the rest of them pretty self-explanatory. Okay, so that's the new math room. Okay, alrighty then. Let's go back to the notes. So here I have the notes open twice. Let's see. All right, module 1, week 1, whatever. Pre-assess. This is the revised Unit 2 assessment that we used last year, and maybe even the year before. So it's only 2 pages, I think. Okay. Then the next thing to do would be read Jim and the Beanstalk, or Jack and the Beanstalk, right? I forget. Is it Jack or Jim? And then remember the activity of counting the bag of beans. You have that huge bag of beans, and they have to guess how many beans are in the bag. And then you go ahead and start counting them into tens, into cups of tens and ones left over, and then we bring them all together, and then we show we have loads of tens, just like in this picture, and how can we now move some of these to hundreds. So we do that together as a class, and then we get our number, and then we go back to our estimate and show which ones were less than what we got, which ones were greater than what we got, and which one was the closest. Okay, if you'd like to do it that way. So that's introducing the idea of place value with Jack and the Beanstalk. Then work on place value some more. So place value, hundreds, tens, ones, naming numbers and values. Here are loads of practice sheets from the intervention materials through Bridges. And then the way to introduce hundreds, tens, and ones with your base 10 area pieces. Showcase those ones and then show how you can put them together to form the strip, and then put those together to form the 100 mat, and then just practice making numbers with tens and ones and chart them in a table on the whiteboard, and then go to numbers that are over 100 and again charting them and show that what the total turns out to be, right? So that is place value for module 1. There are some new tech enhanced Google Slide activities that Bridges has come out with that I have looked through and found which ones I would possibly use. So like this one's base 10 riddles. So if you are interested, click here and you could work through some of these with your class, or you could even share this in Google Classroom with kids, and they would open up and have their own copy of this Google Slide, because it like reads it for you. Okay, I can play this and it'll read it. And they go through and they have riddles. So if I go to riddle number 1, I go here. I go to the riddle. It tells me I have 6 10s and 12 1s. What number am I? So then I'm like, okay, I'll pull over 6 10s, blah, blah, blah. You get the idea. And then I'm supposed to take a picture. Now, if I go down here, I can copy an image or save an image, whichever one. Copy an image is easier. And I take my 2 fingers on my Chromebook and right click it on my pad, and this will come up. I copy the image, I bring it back right here. I go boop with my 2 fingers, press paste, and I've just shown that I solved that riddle. So that would be like if you want kids to try to do it on their Chromebook and you share it in Google Classroom. Otherwise, you could just link these up and try them with the kids in the classroom. And they could just be using the app as you're doing it. They don't have to take pictures and share it with you. So I wanted to put that out there for you. Go back here. Place Value Showdown game. There's the Place Value Showdown. The one, this is from Home Connections, and we thought it was good last year. I think we used it for a game. And then this one here is a math at home activity that Bridges has, all these math at home activities that I thought was good and geared towards place value. So which one doesn't belong? So that is all. Oh, wait, no. Then there are some read alouds that I put with module 1 that deal with place value. You have the monkey book that you saw on the slides that you saw in the math room. So there's the YouTube version or the My RV spot that's in the Google, that's in the math room. And then you have Circumference and All the King's Tens book. Then this one, I don't think you guys have that book, but it is available through our county library online. So you could be showing it on your smartboard and reading it with the kids. So that is module 1. Module 1, it looks like a lot. It's just such a big idea, right? Place value. So I would suggest just taking your time with that. I'm already at 12 minutes, so I will just keep going through module 2 and see what I can get through. Module 2, more with Jack. So it's really important to read Jack and the Beanstalk because now you're going to measure some beans. And you can use Unifix cubes and or base 10 pieces. And I am suggesting to use this new Tech Enhanced Google slide for bringing about the idea of measuring beans. This was a new activity out by Bridges this year, just in case you're remote, but it's nice to be able to use in the classroom too. So it has the full-on story, right? And it has pictures to go with it. You can read it through. And then it says, okay, how can you use Unifix cubes to measure these beans? So you talk about it, and then you say, oh, look at what Cheryl did. Look at what Thomas did. What do you notice? What's easier, right? And then we talk about it, how it's better to see it with 5s and 5s than it is using all separate colors. And now, what if we use base 10 pieces, right? And now we go ahead and start measuring beans. And what's wrong with this picture of this person measuring? They weren't being precise. And then I keep going and we talk about measuring beans. And then you could have kids using the Number Pieces app. And this is showing you, this is how I measure these beans with the base 10 pieces. Look at what I'm doing to figure out how long this bean is. If you want kids to practice using the actual app in their Chromebooks measuring beans, you could have them do this activity. Otherwise, you could just give them paper copy versions of just measuring some beans on paper. So if I were to click here, now is what you just saw. Here are some beans for you guys to measure. So let's go ahead and try and do it. So I'm going to take my base 10. I'm going to make sure it matches up. Yep. And then I'm going to get another one, but notice how this one's green. So I'm going to go down here and I'm going to change the color. And now I have a second one. And now I could just take a third one, right? A third one, make it go up right here. And then I just see that there it is. I take my pen and boom, there's how long it is, okay? So if you want, you can have them practicing on their Chromebooks. Share this Google slide. Okay, so that was just the first part of Module 2. Oh gosh.